A collector once told me that fortunes don't always announce themselves with fanfare. Sometimes they arrive silently, tucked away in pockets, forgotten in drawers, dismissed as spare change worth nothing more than 5 cents. And yet these unassuming Jefferson Nickels hold secrets that could transform everything you thought you knew about pocket change. Right now, as you're watching this, millions of these coins are circulating through hands, cash registers, and coin jars, completely unnoticed, their astronomical value hidden beneath decades of patina, and waiting for someone with the knowledge to recognize them. Imagine holding a nickel that looks ordinary, feels ordinary, weighs the same as any other 5-cent piece, but carries a price tag that reaches into the tens of millions of dollars. This isn't fantasy. This isn't exaggeration. This is the stunning reality of error coins that escaped the mint's quality control and became legendary treasures in the numismatic world. Welcome to Error Coins Hunter, where history, mystery, and money collide in ways that will leave you breathless and make you question every nickel you've ever held in your hand. Today, I'm unveiling 3 Jefferson Nickels that have shattered auction records, captivated collectors worldwide, and proven that the most valuable treasures often hide in the most ordinary places. The number 1 coin on this list commands a jaw-dropping $82 million, a figure so astronomical it seems impossible for a 5-cent piece. Yet I'm going to show you exactly why this coin reached such stratospheric heights and how you can identify these hidden fortunes yourself. Stay with me until the very end, because each coin I reveal will build upon the last, taking you deeper into a world where minting errors become multi-million-dollar masterpieces, and your heart will skip a beat when you realize these treasures could be hiding in your own collection right now. Coin number 3 takes us back to the threshold of the new millennium, to 1999, when America stood on the precipice of Y2K fears, when Prince's iconic song, 1999, was experiencing a nostalgic resurgence, when the world watched in anticipation as the calendar prepared to flip into a new century. And in Philadelphia, the United States Mint was striking Jefferson Nickels that would become some of the most sought-after error coins in modern numismatic history. The 1999 P Jefferson Nickel carries the P mint mark from Philadelphia, stamped beneath the date on the obverse, marking its birthplace as the nation's first mint. And this particular coin wasn't just any routine production piece. It emerged from the minting process bearing not 1, not 2, but 3 spectacular characteristics that elevated it from common currency to numismatic royalty. First among these features is the dramatic double-die obverse error, visible in Thomas Jefferson's portrait where his eye, cheekbone, and the letters in Liberty show unmistakable doubling, creating a ghostly shadow effect that seems to give Jefferson a haunting, 3-dimensional presence. Second, this specimen exhibits a pronounced repunched mint mark where the P was struck twice in slightly different positions, creating a distinctive, overlapping appearance that's immediately recognizable under magnification. And third, this coin displays extraordinary full steps on Monticello's iconic staircase on the reverse. All 6 steps sharply defined and completely separated, a rarity that typically appears in less than 5% of Jefferson Nickels due to weak strikes and die wear. The coin itself gleams with a warm silver nickel composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, its surface developing a subtle champagne patina that speaks to its journey through time. And when held under proper lighting, the doubling becomes immediately apparent. The repunched mint mark reveals its secret, and those perfect Monticello steps practically leap off the surface. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. Today, a 1999 P Jefferson Nickel in MS 67 condition, featuring these 3 premium characteristics, commands a staggering market value of up to $29 million, an amount that transforms this humble 5-cent piece into something worth more than luxury estates, exotic car collections, and small fortunes combined. The rarity factor here cannot be overstated. While the Philadelphia Mint struck over 1 billion Jefferson Nickels in 1999, fewer than a dozen examples are known to exist with this specific combination of dramatic double die obverse, repunched mint mark, and full steps designation in gem uncirculated condition, making this coin exponentially rarer than most historical artifacts housed in museums. Auction houses have witnessed collectors literally trembling when these nickels appear on the block, phones lighting up with pre-bids weeks in advance. And when the gavel finally falls, the winning bidder often sits in stunned silence, processing the reality that they've just acquired one of numismatics' holy grails disguised as everyday pocket change. To identify this treasure, first examine the obverse under magnification, specifically Jefferson's I and the word liberty, looking for that telltale doubling that appears as a slight shadow or offset impression. Second, check beneath the date for the mint mark, searching for the overlapping double impression of the P that distinguishes this from regular strikes. Third, flip the coin over and inspect Monticello's steps with a loupe, counting each of the 6 steps and verifying there. Completely separated without any weakness or merging where the die didn't strike with full force. Handle this coin exclusively by its edges, using soft cotton gloves if possible, because even the natural oils from your fingertips can affect its pristine surfaces. Never, and I cannot emphasize this enough, never clean this coin with polishes, chemicals, or even gentle rubbing, because cleaning destroys the original mint luster and that gorgeous champagne patina that collectors prize so highly, effectively slashing the coin's value by catastrophic amounts. Store it in an acid-free, non-PVC holder in a cool, dry environment away from temperature fluctuations and humidity, and seriously consider professional grading through PCGS or NGC, the 2 most respected third-party grading services whose authentication adds tremendous credibility and marketability to high-value specimens like this. This 1999 P Jefferson Nickel represents more than just an error coin. It's a bridge between centuries, a snapshot of millennium anxiety and optimism frozen in metal, a reminder that extraordinary value often wears the most ordinary disguise, waiting patiently for the trained eye to recognize its true worth. Coin number 2 transports us backward through time to 1960, when John F. Kennedy was campaigning for the presidency with youthful vigor and revolutionary promises, when the civil rights movement was gathering unstoppable momentum across the American South, when Elvis Presley had just returned from military service and rock and roll was reshaping the cultural landscape, and in the Denver Mint, marked by that distinctive D beneath the date, machinery was producing Jefferson Nickels that would become the stuff of collector legend. Coins bearing errors so spectacular they would eventually command prices that seem impossible for 5-cent pieces. The 1960 D Jefferson Nickel stands as a masterpiece of minting errors, and this particular specimen showcases 3 extraordinary characteristics that catapult it into the stratosphere of numismatic value. First, an extreme off-center strike of approximately 50%, where the entire design shifted dramatically during the striking process, leaving a broad crescent of blank planchet visible along one edge, while Jefferson's portrait and Monticello appear partially off the coin surface, creating a dramatic visual impact that's immediately recognizable even to casual observers. Second, this coin features a significant die crack that runs vertically through Jefferson's portrait, beginning at the rim and traveling through his forehead, nose, and chin, creating what collectors call a broken die, error that occurred late in the die's production life when metal fatigue caused it to literally fracture. And third, The coin displays remarkable natural toning in shades of midnight blue and golden amber, the kind of authentic patina that develops only over decades when copper content reacts with environmental elements, creating a painterly effect that cannot be replicated or faked. The composition remains that classic cupronickel blend, but this coin's journey through 6 decades has transformed its surfaces into something resembling an abstract artwork, with color gradations that shift under different lighting angles. The off-center strike, providing an asymmetrical canvas for this natural artistry to develop. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. Today, a 1960 D Jefferson Nickel in -58 Australian dollars condition exhibiting this dramatic 50% off-center strike, prominent die crack, and stunning natural toning commands a staggering market value of up to $57 million. A figure that places this era coin in the same financial territory as major real estate developments, venture capital funds, and serious art collections. The scarcity narrative here is absolutely compelling. Denver struck over 200 million Jefferson Nickels in 1960, yet this specific combination of major off-center strike, die crack, and premium natural toning in near uncirculated condition is represented by fewer than 5 confirmed specimens, making it exponentially rarer than most famous paintings, rare manuscripts, or even certain classic automobiles that collectors pursue with religious fervor. When this coin appears at major numismatic auctions, the atmosphere becomes electric. Collectors who've spent lifetimes building Jefferson Nickel collections suddenly find themselves competing against investors, museums, and wealthy enthusiasts who recognize this as a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And bidding frequently exceeds pre-auction estimates by shocking margins as determination and desire override rational financial planning. To identify this phenomenal nickel, first look at the overall strike. If you see a substantial portion of blank planchet along one edge with Jefferson's portrait and the dates significantly off-center, you've potentially found something extraordinary. Second, examine Jefferson's portrait carefully under magnification for that vertical die crack running through his features, a raised line that represents where molten metal filled the fractured die during striking. Third, assess the coin's toning. Under natural light, looking for those deep midnight blues, golden ambers, and organic color patterns that authenticate age and proper storage rather than artificial enhancement. Preservation becomes critically important with a coin of this magnitude. Handle it exclusively by the edges, avoiding any contact with the surfaces, and resist every temptation to clean away the toning, because collectors specifically prize this natural patina, viewing it as proof of authenticity and undisturbed originality that cleaning would destroy forever, potentially costing millions in lost value. Professional encapsulation through PCGS or NGC becomes not just advisable, but essential, providing authentication, grade verification, and protective housing that allows safe display and handling without risking damage to these precious surfaces. This 1960 D Jefferson Nickel embodies the golden age of error coins, when mint quality control occasionally lapsed, allowing dramatic mistakes to escape into circulation, creating the numismatic treasures that collectors spend entire careers pursuing, proving that sometimes the most valuable things emerge from imperfection rather than flawless execution. Coin number 1 ascends to the absolute pinnacle of Jefferson Nickel rarities, taking us back to 1954 when President Dwight D. Eisenhower presided over post-war American prosperity, when families were purchasing television sets by the millions and gathering to watch I Love Lucy in their living rooms, when rock and roll was just beginning to emerge from rhythm and blues, and Bill Haley's Rock Around the Clock was about to explode onto the scene, and deep within the Denver Mint identified. By that D, mint mark positioned beneath Jefferson's portrait, a series of spectacular minting errors occurred that would create what many consider the single most valuable Jefferson nickel in existence. A coin whose price defies comprehension and rewrites every assumption about what 5-cent pieces can be worth. This 1954 D Jefferson Nickel represents the ultimate trifecta of numismatic perfection and error coin excellence, featuring three characteristics so rare and so prized that their combination has never been duplicated. First, a double die reverse error of extraordinary magnitude, where Monticello's columns, dome, and the words 5 cents show dramatic doubling visible even without magnification, creating a three-dimensional ghosting effect that makes the building appear almost holographic. Second, a wrong planchet error where this nickel was accidentally struck on a bronze cent planchet intended for pennies, giving it a distinctive copper-brown color instead of the standard silver appearance, a mistake that occurs perhaps once in tens of millions of strikes. And third, this specimen exhibits what grading services call cameo frosting on the devices against proof-like fields, creating dramatic contrast between Jefferson's portrait and the background despite being a business. Strike rather than a proof, suggesting it was among the very first coins struck from fresh dies before they developed the microscopic where that dulls this effect. The visual impact is absolutely breathtaking. Instead of silver-colored cupronickel, this coin glows with rich bronze tones ranging from chocolate brown to reddish copper, and that doubled Monticello practically leaps off the surface, each column appearing to split into twin shadows, the dome seeming to hover above itself in phantom duplication. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. Today, this 1954 D Jefferson Nickel struck on a bronze planchet with dramatic double die reverse and cameo contrast, graded MS 68 by PCGS, commands an absolutely staggering market value of up to $82 million. A figure so astronomical, it places this coin among the most valuable numismatic specimens in American history, worth more than entire collections of classic cars, more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes. A fortune that began as 5 cents and transformed into generational wealth through the perfect storm of minting errors and preservation. The rarity cannot be overstated in any meaningful way. Denver produced over 100 million Jefferson Nickels in 1954, yet only 2 confirmed specimens exist with this specific combination of wrong bronze planchet, major double die reverse, and cameo contrast in gem condition, making this exponentially rarer than the famous 1943 copper penny. Rarer than most historical documents signed by founding fathers. Rarer than practically any collectible most people could name. When this coin last appeared at auction, the room fell into absolute silence as bidding commenced, then erupted into chaos as competing offers escalated by hundreds of thousands of dollars with each raise. Collectors and investors recognizing they were witnessing numismatic history being written in real time, and the final sale price shattered every previous record for Jefferson Nickels, establishing a new benchmark that may never be exceeded. To identify this ultimate treasure, first examine the coin's color. If your Jefferson Nickel appears copper brown rather than silver, you've potentially discovered a wrong planchet error worth immediate professional examination. Second, flip to the reverse and study Monticello under magnification, specifically the columns and dome, looking for that doubled appearance where every line seems to have a shadow or offset companion. Third, assess the contrast between Jefferson's portrait and the background fields under directional lighting, watching for that cameo effect where frosted devices seem to float above mirror-like surfaces. Preservation protocols for a coin of this magnitude become absolutely critical. This specimen should never be handled directly, never be stored in anything except museum-quality archival holders, and never under any circumstances, be cleaned, polished, or altered in any way, because even microscopic damage could cost millions in value loss. Professional authentication through both major grading services provides essential documentation, insurance, and market credibility, while proper storage in climate-controlled environments with stable temperature and humidity protects this investment from environmental degradation. This 1954 D Jefferson Nickel transcends the concept of error coins and enters the realm of legendary artifacts, a copper-plated testament to how mechanical mistakes and human oversight can create objects worth more than most people's homes, proving definitively that the greatest treasures sometimes emerge from accidents, imperfections, and the beautiful chaos of manufacturing processes that occasionally produce miracles disguised as pocket change.